I'm scared for my wallet.
Yay!
Oh my god. Danger. Danger. Look at her.
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka worked the factory.
We are the music makers.
As always, it's the end of vlog Steph here to tell you hi from the future after finishing 2 books in this vlog. I'm going to be taking you with me on a trip to Chicago, and I'm going to be interspersing that with some clips of me talking about the books. I don't know if I'm going to like mix up the chronology of the events with my reviews of the Poppy War. Editing Steph here. Also to say that in the first clip, I didn't realize that the sun kept shining in my camera. Please excuse the flashing lighty situation thing. It'll go away eventually. Anyway, let's start this mess of a vlog.
It could change the world.
Welcome to a vlog for the Poppy War. I have officially started the Poppy War read-along. This is a bi-monthly read-along that's happening with me and a couple friends, Mel and Bethany, and we are each taking turns reviewing this on our channel. We have a Discord where we're talking about it. All that'll be linked below. I am currently 20 pages in, and I gotta say, oh, I love Rin so much. Rin is baby girl, and I'm rooting for her, but she reminds me very much of students that I've known and worked with, and just people that I've known who have so much at stake, and that education is the only route out of the situation that they're in, and the stakes are so incredibly high, because if this doesn't work, they're destined for some really horrible options as far as their paths in life is concerned. Before starting this, I will say yesterday I did listen to some podcasts to learn a little bit about the events that happened historically that this is based off of, which is, I'll put the word here, at Nanjing. It's horrifying. It's very upsetting. I wanted to puke, and unfortunately this is not an isolated incident. We've heard things like this happen in many other places. In the Congo, in anywhere that has experienced colonization, in America, in South America, just every continent has unfortunately experienced horror like this during war, and I'm scared. I know people want reactions because I've heard chapter 21, I feel like, or is it 22 or 23? I don't know. Something when we get to the 20s, that's when I hear people say, brace yourself. So I got some tissues ready, and yeah, here we go. So I'm at the airport. I'm headed to Chicago to go see my bestie Natalie, but also to go to the Art Educators Convention. It is in a different location every year, and this year it is in Chicago by happenstance, and that is one of the best things that could have happened. So you're coming with me. I'm back from Chicago, and I couldn't update you on anything that I read while I was there because I was too busy running around having adventures with my bestie. So I'm here to tell you that I am over halfway done with the Poppy War. Listen, I feel like this is gonna be a hot take video. Because, listen, it's not that I don't like it. It's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with it. I am currently, I would say like a quarter of the way into part 2, almost halfway into part 2. So we are out of the academy. Rin has been in her first major battle. She has undergone training after selecting to be in lore, and she has transcended to the point of being in contact with the gods of this world. Now, here's the thing. It's a little bit predictable so far, and I feel like I'm reading a seinen. It's very tropey, I mean, we've got this cast of characters that is very conveniently introduced as the part of the Night Castle, who are there's like this 13th group in the militia division, 13th division of outcasts. So they all have these abilities that relate to the gods, and they use the drugs, the poppy, in this case, poppy seeds, in order to hit a kind of meditative state. But Rin wants power, and I understand it. She has been in survival mode this entire time. But the cast of characters that she meets is introduced in such a way that it's like, dude, I feel like I've seen such a convenient introduction. Yeah, sure, it's fine. Everything that's happened with the Empress and these political machinations that have caused the war, like, a lot of this is, you know what it's giving? You know what it's giving? It's giving Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I like Avatar. So again, I'm not saying that as like any kind of insult in any way. Like, I feel like if you like Avatar, you'd like this. Yeah, but this is like a more adult version of Avatar because it is action-packed but gory in some ways. I don't know. I feel like I'm having a hard time explaining what exactly I'm feeling, but it's kind of that feeling of like when I pick it up, I'm into it, or I'm at least like enjoying my read, and then when I put it down, I kind of forget about it. So hot take is, at this point, I'm considering giving it a 3.5. Just because I'm not feeling that pull to finish. I'm just like going through the motions, you know? I think there is a lot that can be said about the history of Japan and China and wars in Eastern Asia that include the opium trade and just horrible things that have happened in war and all those things. So when I have some more brain cells, I'll come back and tell you what I think about those things. But for now, it's okay. I don't think it's her strongest writing, but also it was a debut. So for a debut and for a young person writing this, very impressive. So we'll leave this thought there.
Okay, we're on an adventure. Hi! We are going to anime shopping today, is the plan. We're going to the Gundam store, which I've been dying to go to. Oh wait, why is my camera so dirty? I've been dying to go here. Natalie has promised to take me here. She is fulfilling that promise.
Yes.
You're gonna get my reaction. I'm a broke bitch. So we'll see what I leave with. Which will...
It'll be something. If I have anything to
Yeah,
say.
that's true.
Maybe not at the Gundam store, but somewhere.
I'm scared. I'm scared for my wallet. I'm so excited. Oh my god. I saw my. It's going on two fronts. Look at them. They're so cool. Look at them.
Who needs food when you have Gundam?
I don't need food. Look at my lesbians. Look at these. Is that a mystery cat?
Yes.
Look at her. I love them. They're so cute. Look at my children.
This one, I don't like.
It's time for an update.
Yes, I'm just showing off my babies. I already have the ones that I want, so I don't need to buy these. I did buy 5 acrylic stands though, of Windbreaker alone.
In a heartbeat, she bought the entire shelf.
Yes,
of
they
this.
had 5 of them, and I just grabbed all of them. I saw $6 each. I said, "You're going home with me."
And look what I found. He's coming home. I love you. Oh my god. Danger. Danger.
This-
Look at them. They're so cute.
And I definitely didn't pay $20 for them.
which is good.
Okay, so we're at a different store, and now Natalie's in trouble. We found BSD.
And it's acrylic stands. My favorite.
There's a lot of good stuff here. Look at them. Oh, they're so cute. Like they're going to sleep. I love them.
I'm unwell.
I think you got more stuff than I did, but
yes,
I got
because you went bigger things, more expensive. I went smaller, but we basically spent the same amount of money.
yeah.
These are some mystery dandaran acrylics that we found at Daiso. So we'll see who we get.
You go first. You got two. I got one.
I got two.
No.
And now I'm fighting for my life for it. Let's see who we got here.
Who is it?
My girl!
Yay!
My girl!
Oh,
I love
Momo.
She's so
She's
sweet.
life. We love Momo.
Three.
See what we get.
Yeah, it's a little tough.
Okay.
I was fighting for my life a little bit.
Grandma!
You got
Grandma! Yay! I love her. She's
We all won today.
Yes, we did. We both got this.
I'm taking it out of the plastic just for further clarity.
Well, I'll keep mine in because I have to fly it back to Jersey.
So,
Actually, I can put it on my keychain, so it's fine.
our Tokyo Ghoul babies.
Yes.
They're there.
Totally unexpected. Just walking around all these anime stores, and then Natalie just goes, "Whoa, snatch two."
And then let me show off my baby from Haikyuu because
He's so cute.
I love my baby Suga. I barely ever fight him.
He's a cutie.
Even though he's my angel.
There's no losing right now unless it's duplicates, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Okay.
Correct. Why are they so protected? Oh, baby Nirei!
Look at that.
Baby Nirei!
A baby.
What else we got in here? Yes!
Yay!
God.
We're winning.
Sakura!
Baby! Yay!
I love it. My number one. Ume! Ume!
We went to the Kinokuniya where every time she talks about it, she's like, they never have nothing. They never have anything. The store is trash, but we're going to try anyway. And then we found gold.
And then the summer Hikaru died.
I had to get an acrylic stand because we went to the Gundam store,
Of course.
which will also be in this vlog. Got my lesbians from the Blue Witch from Mercury and their robot. Look at them. They're so cute. My lesbians. I love them. Look at him. Shooting his little pew pew. I love him. He's amazing. Toodles. Bye. I have coherent thoughts. I am on chapter 19, I want to say, which means I'm getting really close to chapter 21, which will probably be my next update in this video. I feel like I'm finally starting to see the vision. Actually, I kind of started to see the vision maybe like 3 or 4 chapters ago. I'm feeling that this entire thing is building up to a specific moment in all of this tension, drama, and everything, which is making it feel like it is centering the history of what happened at Nanjing. That kind of reframes everything a little bit for me because so much of the book was centered around Rin's training at Sign Guard and getting Rin to the place where she's able to interact with the gods and understand the military. That at first it just felt like, I was like, how is this going to bring in the historical aspect? And I see it now. I will say what's really pulling me in now is the way that it's confronting ideas of nationalism, because we have these characters who are facing a group that represents Japanese imperialism and their levels of aggression towards the Nikara. I mean, the Nikara are themselves
an oppressive group because of what happened to the Spearleys, what happened to other people, and like they have their own history of oppression against like people within that mainland, which supposed to represent mainland China. But the Federation is not following any of the strategic protocol that is taught at Seingard, and that is, I think, what the structure of the narrative is really trying to get to, is like that what was being taught to Rin, Alton, and Neza and all of these things was this very like strategic battle plans, how to think about minimizing casualties where their opponents are about maximizing casualties and don't mind going down with the ship. That's not an issue for them. They're actually trained to do that. Versus the Nukara are not trained to do that. So it's a very different approach to war. And that's kind of like the point, is that war is a horrible thing. And to think that there are rules to war is actually a fallacy, because those rules are only as true as whoever's willing to uphold them when we're talking about large scale harm. It's like you can condemn someone for doing something horrible only after they've done the horrible thing. And that's kind of like the peak of losing your humanity in some way. So it's interesting for that. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not feeling so attached to group 13. And I'd say I'm attached to Rin because I want to see baby girl get some peace. I will say that I am pleasantly surprised and happy that it seems like so far I was expecting Rin to maybe like feed into some feminine rage or personal rage that makes her the one that is like vying so deeply for power. And I'm not saying that that can't still happen, but it's not her right now. It's another character that has crossed that border line, that gray line, into being a abusive person for the sake of ascending to power. And that kind of took me by a little bit of surprise, because I had my money bet on that being Rin. And so maybe it still will be her. I don't know. There's 3 books in the series, so it's quite possible that she could be pushed to that point after witnessing some horrible things. But right now it's not her. And so that's interesting. So my next update will be chapter 21. Oh boy. I finished the Poppy War. I am very impressed. I'm very impressed, especially at the fact that she wrote this so young, and the ending was such a complex topic that I feel was done well. I will say chapter 21 was extremely gruesome. I did have a visceral reaction because it is a dark side of humanity that we try to put at the back of our minds in order to move about our day. But these horrible things are unfortunately real. And unfortunately, there are still people that suffer horrible fates, as what happened historically in Nanjing. And it's the reality of what happened to these people that made me have a visceral reaction. Now, as far as a reading experience, I will say I've read texts that seeing them happen on page has had a stronger reaction to me while reading it. Like, I feel like if we're going to talk about material that's dark, this one is up there on the list of dark things that I've read because it's based in history. But as far as darkest texts I've ever read, this isn't that. So I will say, like, if the Poppy War was tough for you to read, be wary of some of the horror wrecks that I've said that I've read on this channel. I get it. The way that people warned me about chapter 21, they were not overhyping it. It is, hyping is not even the word. They were not overselling it. They were right. It's pretty darn sad. So the part that I loved about the ending was that it covers this subject of how we cannot compare atrocities. We cannot compare history and pain in order to justify more pain. And that the pain of innocence is never a price that is reasonable. It is never a fair or just price to pay. And that the people who are committing these horrible crimes are the ones that are in power or believe in that power, and that is not necessarily always the civilians that are unfortunately living under whatever regime is committing these horrible actions. That just because they are part of a civilian of a nation that is committing an atrocity does not mean that the citizens themselves are responsible, supporting or approving of what has happened, of what is happening. And so this kind of like eye for an eye thing draws, a line has to be drawn somewhere. Otherwise pain will be perpetual. It will be never ending. And if we continue to do eye for an eye, things will just escalate, because how do you measure pain on a scale like this? You can't. You can try to quantify it in the numbers of people that are affected, but that is not a realistic way of assessing something in terms of seeking justice. And so our characters have to explore this. Rin has to learn this. And this ending was so dark, which leaves me in a space of, I have no idea what the next two books are even going to do. Because I see how this one directly referenced the events of Nanjing, but I have no idea what the Dragon Republic or the Burning God are going to do with the storyline. As far as writing goes, I definitely feel like R.F. Kuang has become a much stronger writer since writing The Poppy War. And Babel is still currently my favorite book of hers, but this was really good. This was really good. Overall, I'm giving it 4 stars. If you made it this far and you don't know what to drop, go ahead and drop a fire emoji. I post videos whenever I feel like it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Wonka.